7 things the emotional abuser says to get you back. So we're all vibrational beings, and this is how we attract people. We all vibrate, and that's how we attract. We're all vibrations, and when we vibrate at a similar level to somebody else, they can come into our space. And we're told what we put out, we get back, and that's the law of attraction. Now, I believe you saw the red flags, and this could have been during the relationship, at the start of the relationship. It could have been when they discarded you for some reason. You're so confused, the words leaving their mouth, giving you this weird feeling inside. Something feels off. Now, as an empath or a highly intuitive person, you have this inner knowing, you have this understanding. You can understand what isn't being said, the words that aren't being used. You might be able to feel what other people are feeling, that pain that they're feeling. And you picked up intuitively that something didn't feel right. Maybe you spotted an inner child, a damaged inner child. And as a healer, as somebody that wants to help, is here to be of service, perhaps that is why you were attracted to this person. That is how they got under the radar. That is how they vibrated at the same level. Or maybe they weren't. It's just you saw something within them and you wanted to help them. When you picked up on anything or you said anything, you were either too sensitive or you got it wrong, and you started to believe them. When your intuition was telling you that something wasn't right, you started to turn this off, and this continues to work for them. And your desire to help is absolute perfection for them, because what you're doing is you're seeing their calculated moves and their manipulative behaviour as a desire to actually work things out in the relationship. This is all about power and control. This was a game and you didn't have the rules. And this part of the game was called hoovering. And hoovering is being sucked back into the relationship, particularly during the discard stage. And just like a vacuum cleaner, sucking up the dirt, the abuser does this in an attempt to get you back. You might have been hoovered or experienced some of the hoovering tactics when you started to see some of their manipulative behaviour, or they dropped their mask and then they suck you back in. What they're trying to do is hook you up so that you're reliant on them, the power and control they have over your life. That's what they're trying to do. So they idolize you, and then they devalue you, and then they suck you back in with the hoovering. During the discard stage, when they want to take you back round, they'll take you back round to the idealization, which is all to do with this manipulating you into not being able to live without them. The hoovering might come at the end of the relationship when you sense they were ready to move on. So like a vampire, they swoop back round in an attempt to hook you back in. They drain you of your energy and everything maybe that you've got, or the energy that you've built up while you've been away from them. You're an object to them, something that they initially desired, but they also believe you belong to them. They change their behaviour, which gives you a false sense of security. They allow you to believe that they really do love you, that they want you back, and that they are this manufactured soulmate they claim to be. These people are master manipulators and Grammy award-winning actors. They put on a mask, hiding who they truly are. So some of those red flags would have been a mask dropping, because they can only hold that in place for so long. Number one, we're soulmates, we're meant to be together. They love the idea of soulmates. It gives them and it gains them so much attention from you. They may tell you that they're really sorry for the pain that they caused you and that they didn't really mean it. They never meant to hurt you, or they didn't realise how important you were to them until this happened. They may beg for your forgiveness and ask for another chance and tell you they can't imagine life without you. they love to see people in pain. It gives them a sense of power, and their aim is to control and take over your life. When they tell you they didn't realise how important it was, they're actually understanding how easy it is for them to do this. So they've been caught doing whatever they've been doing, and they realise how easy it is for them to get the attention. When they tell you you're soulmates and you want to be together, this is giving them attention, and a good quality attention, because you believe that you're the only one that ever understood them. What they're telling you is your attention is superior to other people's attention that they've got around them at the moment. And what they're telling you is they haven't actually managed to suck the soul out of you yet. So when they have, they will move on to their next soulmate, the person who understands them. Number 2, I've decided to get help. Perhaps before they drained you of all the attention, you saw the red flags. When their mask dropped, you got a sneaky peek of who they really were. You might have highlighted some of their bad behaviour, and out of desperation, they agree with you. They want to change, they want to do something about it, because don't forget, you're soulmates. So they decided to go and get help. And what they're really saying is they realise that they dropped their mask, and you're starting to see them for who they really are. And this is a tactic to hoover you back in. They know you're an empath, and they know you will do anything to help another person. And this is perfect for them because they have no intention of going to counselling or getting help in any way. There may be tears, crocodile, of course, which makes you believe that they really are sincere and they really do want to change and do something about it. So they secure a new mask, play a new role, and then they start that cycle again. They start with the idealisation to make you feel secure. And you might ask that question, when are they going to get help? When are they going to seek attention? When are they going to make the appointment? And over time this gets forgotten, and you start to feel secure in this idealisation stage, that feeling of going back to the beginning of the relationship, what it was like when you were, the feelings you were getting then. But I do have one warning for you. Do not go to counselling with them. If they suggest couple counselling, do not do it. If you feel you need to go and see a counsellor, or if you need to see someone, then do it on your own. And particularly someone, but the problem is you don't know this is happening. You don't know that you're being emotionally abused. So it's easy to say, go and find someone who's got, who can work in that area. But if you don't know it's been happening and this is what's been going on, you're not going to know that's who you need to see. But do not go to couple counselling. Or if you do, find someone that works with couples separately and then brings them together. But do not go, because this is their time to prove to the counsellor that you are mad, or you're nuts, or that you've got insecurities or trust issues or whatever it is. Do not go to counselling, because they use it against you. So number 3, you can't do this on your own. So you might be in the discard stage and you're trying to do the no contact that you've read about or heard about. And you get a message saying, I can't live without you. You can't do this on your own. Let me help you. We're soulmates. We should be together. What they're really saying is that they're checking in to see how much pain you're in. The longer you're away, the more chance is that you're going to build the energy back up that they're sucking out of you or have been sucking out of you. They don't care about what attention they get, as long as they're getting attention. So negative or positive attention is attention to them. And I spent a lot of my career in sales, and I always remember one of my directors saying to me, it's people are talking about you. It doesn't matter whether they're saying good things or bad things. I didn't agree with that, but that was his philosophy. Our name is out in front of people. They don't care about the attention. They don't care whether it was good or bad. And if they can see that they're the root of the pain, if they can see that they've caused this pain, it's even better for them, because it shows them how much power they had over you, how much control they had over you and still have over you. So they have no intention of helping you in any way. These are empty words. Perhaps their new supply isn't fully engaged. They're not getting the attention that they were hoping. It's not secured 100%. Perhaps it is, and they just fancy a bit more of attention. Perhaps they're using it as a manipulation tool just to prove to this new supply how amazing the catch that they've got, that they're checking in with their ex to make sure that they're okay. You react, and of course you're providing the fuel to prove that you are crazy. So the new supply is understanding the reasons they left. Of course, they've never explained to them what they've done. Why would they? The damage that they've caused you. The reason that you're feeling so crazy or reacting or overreacting is because of what they put you through. So this is a win-win situation for them. They're getting attention from you, and they're also proving to the new supply that they are amazing, that they've picked an amazing person to have in their life. Number 4, I met them before I met you. Honestly, there's nothing to be jealous of. But did you actually tell them you were jealous, or are they mistaking your confusion and that gut feeling that you've got where something doesn't feel right in your relationship for jealousy? You've trust issues. I met them before. I knew them before I even knew you or even met you. Do you have trust issues from past relationships? Did you bring them into this relationship? Or is this constant parade of people that they drag out and triangulate you with, or have infidelities with, causing you to have trust issues? Or has it been the constant line of people you've been discovering in their life? Or the constant flow of people they keep dangling in front of you to make you feel insecure, that triangulation? I met them when we were on a break. They won't leave me alone, they are in love with me. Somehow they've managed to turn this around to be your fault. They're triangulating you, creating drama. And at the end of this, you're going to feel sorry for them, you're going to forgive them, and of course this was all your fault. You didn't give them enough attention. They make themselves look popular, which is a tactic to ensure that you're more invested in the relationship than you are in yourself. They can then manipulate you further and use coercion tactics to get you to do things they want you to do. And you may feel that you're not desirable enough, and you may feel you need to work harder to please them. Number 5, you were the only person who's ever understood me. Okay, so as an empath, you understand people on a different level. You might hear what isn't being said. You might see people's wounds, and you very possibly saw their damage to a child and wanted to help them. You might have felt the pain emanating from the child and wanted to heal. What they're really saying, you're the only one that's understood me thus far. That's until the next person moves in, or they move the next person in and tell them exactly the same thing. They actually talk far too much about their exes, and they do this to triangulate you. When they were checking in on their ex, number 3, you can't do this on your own. You saw a caring person who didn't want to hurt anyone, and you believed that lie. They are now doing the same thing to their new supply. So during this time, they're purposely telling you why their exes were exes, and you thought you've met this perfect person. So what they're actually doing is telling you what Angela did wrong and why she's an ex, and you make a mental note not to do that. And then they explain what Louise did wrong, and you make a mental note not to do that. Then there was Sarah, Sharon, Sally. What they're actually doing is telling you, if you want to stay in this relationship with me, this perfect person, you better not do this. Number 6, I can't put up with this anymore. The gaslighting that takes place is horrific, and you never really knew what was going to come next. This could be to trick you thinking they're discarding you. They might be using it to create drama and for you to beg them to stay. And you agree to anything so not to be discarded. This is another manipulation tactic used to make you more invested in the relationship. Once they've got you hooked to the relationship, they shouldn't have to do too much more. What's left is to suck your energy. You should be just waiting for them, for the next phone call, for the next visit, waiting for them to appear, and grateful for any crumb that they throw your way. But they might get a whiff of, what's that, empowerment, another person's scent. They might be worried that you're listening to other people, and they might be worried they're going to be unmasked. Think about it. You were supposed to be waiting for them. You were supposed to be under their influence. You were supposed to hand over your power and the control of your life. What can't they put up with? Turn that statement around. What they actually might be saying is they can't play this role anymore, and that it's really hard for them to keep this mask in place. When you are no longer a good supply of attention for them, they get lazy. This is when you get more glimpses of who they really are. Number 7, I didn't mean to hurt you and I'm going to make it up to you. They come back begging to be taken back. They didn't mean it and they didn't want to hurt you, and they want to prove it to you. So they might start showering you with gifts, flowers, days out, breaks, trips to the cinema, just to prove how much you mean to them. And you start to get these feelings you had at the beginning of the relationship where you're feeling secure. And of course, being the person you are, you're going to forgive them. You're a strong person. You're going to take the blame for this. You realise if you hadn't behaved the way you had, they wouldn't have done, insert the behaviour. They remind you of the fake future that you've got together, and that's all you ever really wanted. So what they're really saying is they haven't finished with you yet, and they're not going to let you go while there's still a bit of life in you, or there's still attention to be had from you when you're in pain and they can see that they've caused that pain. Of course, they know how to get you hooked back into the relationship. They've done it so many times before. And they also love the attention they get from being kind and generous. And what they're really saying is they have no intention of being caught again. So they're plotting a way of how they're going to explain their disappearance to their other supply. And behind the mask, they're actually furious that you managed to catch them out. These aren't real relationships, they're fake. And that's why it hurts so much. It's like using a man-made fibre, a synthetic fibre. Doesn't feel the same as the real thing. And it irritates you. When a narcissist or an emotional abuser is trying to hook you back into the relationship, they need to do it as quickly as possible and with little effort. Ideally, their aim is to pick up where they left off. They know what buttons to push and they know what reaction they're going to get. They plan every single thing they do meticulously. They're like psychopaths who get so much enjoyment of the plotting and the planning. These 7 statements are just a few of what you might hear, and I'm sure you can stick in the book comments below your own version. So if you have been discarded or you've discarded this person when you've realised what's going on, please, please, please go no contact. I know you're in pain, and them making contact with you could make you believe that they really do love you and you've got it all wrong, that they really do want to change and that you are soulmates. Of course they didn't mean it. They didn't want to hurt you. And if you hadn't said or done something, this wouldn't have happened. You're jealous and insecure. And I'm going to ask you to stop now. Taking the steps of going no contact is going to save your life and your sanity. This is a game. It's like a cat playing with a dead mouse. Really, they're uninterested, but they have nothing better to do. I want you to realise this was always going to happen at some point. If only and maybe you can go through the whole relationship. If only you'd said or done, maybe if you'd said or hadn't said. This was always going to happen. It just might be a few weeks, a few months, a few years further down the line. Claim your life back now. Those crazy exes they spoke about don't seem so crazy now, do they? And for you to fully recover from this relationship, you need to remove yourself. You can't stay friends with them. And doing no contact is deleting and blocking every form of communication. If you have children, I know how difficult that is as well. Try and find someone who can help mediate for you and get that in place while you build up your strength, be able to deal with them. And be able to do that, you need to take yourself away. They have these tentacles as if they can drain you from a distance. And no contact is not having conversations through social media, knowing that they're going to read your posts. I'm sending you so much love because I know how difficult this is.